New York City, December 8th, 1980. The air is biting, the kind of cold that gets under your skin. Outside the Dakota, one of the most prestigious apartment buildings in the world, a small group of fans lingers in the shadows. They're waiting for a man who didn't just write songs. He wrote the soundtrack to a revolution. A man who told us to imagine a world without hate. But tonight, the dream is about to end. Welcome to Untold Truth, where we peel back the layers of history's most tragic moments. Tonight, we look at the final hours of John Lennon and the man who decided that peace was a crime. The icon, more than a Beatle. To understand the weight of this night, you have to understand John Lennon. He wasn't just a former Beatle. At 40 years old, he had become a global symbol for peace. After a 5-year hiatus to raise his son Sean, he was finally back. His new album, Double Fantasy, was climbing the charts. He was happy. He was free. But fame has a dark side. It creates a vacuum that attracts the broken, the obsessed, and the desperate. While Lennon was spreading a message of love, a shadow was moving toward him from across the country. A 25-year-old security guard from Hawaii named Mark David Chapman. The chilling encounter. Earlier that afternoon, around 5 p.m., Lennon walked out of the Dakota to head to a recording session. There, leaning against the stone archway, was Chapman. He didn't look like a killer. He looked like any other fan. He held out a copy of Double Fantasy. Lennon, ever the professional, took a pen and scribbled his name across the cover. He even asked Chapman, "Is this all you want?" Chapman nodded, silent. A photographer captured that moment. It is one of the most haunting images in history. A legend standing inches away from his future executioner, offering a smile and an autograph. Lennon got into his limo and drove away. Chapman stayed. He waited for nearly 6 hours in the freezing dark. The climax, 10:50 p.m. Only the sound of a distant New York City siren. 10:50 p.m. The white limousine pulls up to the curb. John and Yoko step out. They decide to walk through the archway instead of driving into the secure courtyard. Lennon is carrying a tape recorder, clutching the night's work. As he passes the man in the shadows, a voice calls out, "Mr. Lennon?" Lennon turns. He doesn't see a fan anymore. He sees a .38 caliber revolver. 5 shots ring out. 4 hit Lennon in the back and shoulder. He staggers, his glasses falling to the pavement, his blood staining the stone steps of the lobby. He gasps, "I'm shot," before collapsing. While Yoko screams for help, Chapman doesn't run. He doesn't hide. He takes off his coat, sits on the sidewalk, and pulls out a copy of The Catcher in the Rye. He begins to read, waiting for the police to arrive. The aftermath, a world in shock. The news hit the world like a physical blow. Millions of homes were filled with silence. By midnight, thousands had gathered outside the Dakota. They didn't protest. They didn't riot. They sang. They held candles and sang "Imagine" through their tears. A man who spent his life asking for a chance at peace had been taken by a senseless act of violence. The surgeon at Roosevelt Hospital later said they fought for 45 minutes to save him, but Lennon had lost nearly 80% of his blood. The voice of a generation was silenced. The legacy of a dreamer. Why did Chapman do it? He later confessed he wanted the fame. He thought killing the most famous man in the world would make him someone. But while he sits behind bars to this day, his name is a footnote. Lennon's name is an anthem. We're left with the haunting question: what music did we lose that night? What words of wisdom were left unwritten? Thank you for joining us on Untold Truth. If you want to dive deeper into the stories that changed our world, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Because the truth is often darker than we remember, but the music lives forever.